excited. Be absolutely amazing. 2 seconds for me, Mr. Harvey Shields. I am going to just check my Facebook to make sure that it is broadcasting live. Hello, family. How are you? Happy Thursday. Oh my God. Did you guys know? Of course you did. It's the last Thursday of the month of July. I am so excited. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you're tuning in from. I don't know if you're multitasking, but I'm going to say to you that you definitely want to chime into this conversation for more reasons than just one. Harvey is going to transform your life by this conversation. I promise you that. You can hold me to that. Grab a friend, tag someone. Hey, let me know if you can hear me. I'm logging onto Facebook now just to make sure that we are officially live. But if you could just let me know if you can hear me, I would so appreciate you. Yeah, we're live. Mr. Shill, we are. Let me turn this down. This is really good. Hello, happy Thursday. So glad to see everybody. I trust that you are well wherever you are. I can't thank you enough for every week coming back to support me in the work that I'm doing to uplift our community. This platform is truly about engaging in conversations that can help you along your life's journey. And I hope that you've been getting great value from them. And this conversation is going to be no different. I know we typically tune in at 5 o'clock. So for some of you, this is going to be, you're going to be like, Sheryl, where are you at 5 o'clock? But because of scheduling, we had to make some adjustments. But it's still nonetheless, whether you watch it now or later, I guarantee you it's going to be great information. I just want to say again, I'm sending you positive energy wherever you are. We are now out and about and living our best lives. And I just want to caution everybody to still make sure that you protect yourselves. That COVID pandemic, the pandemic is a very real thing of which Harvey's going to talk about. And he's going to talk to us, especially from his expertise and what he does and patients that he currently works with. So you really want to tap into it. I think you're going to get some helpful tips and tricks about how you can really help yourself to maintain a healthy balance. So I am going to Harvey right now. I'm multitasking, which I'm pretty good at, but I want to make sure I share with as many of my platforms as I possibly can, so that people can really get to truly experience you, Harvey, and really get to gain some knowledge about what you're about to share with us in terms of our fitness and how we take care of ourselves and what the best way is for us to do that. And so I am tagging as many of my groups that I possibly can to make sure that they know. And sometimes, people are moving a mile a minute. And so way it helps us make sure that we get them involved, just like I am. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I know time is of the essence and this goes so fast. I love this platform and everything that I do, but I know that once I start talking and we engage in this conversation, it's really going to go very quickly. For those of you who are new to my platform, welcome. So glad to have you here today. And for those of you who have been with me again, I can't thank you enough. Your support is everything. The work that I do is only as valuable as the people that I'm impacting. I want to share with you, especially for those of you that are new, that again, my name is Sheryl Grant and welcome to Fit Live, where we highlight the real journey and triumphs of individuals, professionals, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. Getting fit is more than a physical process. It's a roadmap for getting into mental shape, developing the faith, intuition, and tenacity necessary to propel you towards success, your own success, not only in business, but in life. I start the conversation off every week asking you a basic fundamental question. Are you ready to get fit? Are you ready to throw down? Yes, we are. Okay, Harvey, I kind of threw that one in. It's okay. Work. So, no, but fitness is everything. And I think sometimes we just take things for granted. We take our health for granted. And that's why when you hear from this gentleman right here, you could thank me later. You can thank me later. He's amazing. And I can't remember the young lady who recommended you, Harvey, but I want to thank her. Judy, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've had more than one conversation with Mr. Harvey Shields. He's helped walk me off the ledge a couple of times. I was not feeling too good. My stomach was acting up. He diagnosed me in like 2 seconds and gave me products to go get, of which I ordered immediately. And I promise you the results were instantaneous. So when I tell you I brought you a professional, you better believe me when I tell you. So without further ado, let me take this moment to introduce this amazing, amazing, amazing man to you. Mr. Harvey Shields, his story is growing up in Mississippi. He noticed people would always come to his house asking for items like cornmeal, flour, cooking oil, and other items. And he said to himself at that time that we had a general store, but I never saw anyone give my mother money. One day I asked my mother, why do people come to our house for things when we are poor? She said, it's not about us. It's about helping others. People that are much worse off than we are. And we should help them in any way that we can to improve their lives. He heard those words throughout his entire life. And this is why health and wellness became a passion for him. It's not just his profession. He truly believes in helping people improve their lives. He believes that it's the greatest gift in the world. And I agree with him. The ultimate success is being in the position to help others. His goal is to share with people how they can heal within themselves. The key to health is balance and energy. We are all energy, and our physical body is a small portion of our total energy. Our physical body receives energy from oxygen when we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. Energy imbalances. It keeps us from a state of wellness and causes us to be sick, tired, stressed, and prone to injury. The imbalance can occur years before we experience any physical symptoms. Having a balance of energy means a strong body, both physically and mentally, a body that is able to fight off disease, tolerate stress, have the energy to perform tasks and functions with mental clarity throughout the day. Our body is always talking to us. But the question that Harvey Shields asks is, do we listen to it? His approach is based upon observing, listening, and learning. Based on his individual approach, he can help people learn to listen to their bodies and take care of themselves by addressing current issues as well as illness, injury, prevention, giving individuals the tools to keep themselves healthy and injury-free is the most important lesson he can teach. Every wellness program should be developed to address an individual's need to maximize health, endurance, and performance, safety, and efficiently. The desired outcome is an individual that has a balance of energy, is physically and mentally healthier, and has the tools to listen to their body to prevent injuries and illness. This is all done with natural, individual, positive approach and body and treatment for the body. His life goal is to help people listen to their body and help them heal themselves. You guys, I know that was a lot, but I had to share all of that with you because that really does set the stage for who we have. And I'm going to go into his credentials and his background and the people that he has serviced, some of the most world famous individuals around the globe, corporate leaders, sports people, I hope I can say that. I don't know. Some of your
It's okay. It's okay. You can say it.
Yeah, Barry Bonds, Jerry Rice. His list is endless. Like those are just off the top of my head based upon my conversations with him. But Harvey, I want to say to you first and foremost, welcome to the Fit platform. Thank you. And wherever you are, please do give Harvey a warm welcome and a round of applause. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you, Mr. Harvey Shields?
I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
I'm doing great to be here today.
Thank you, Harvey, and thank you for taking your precious time to come on my platform and tell your story. And again, thank Judy for this introduction. You know, Harvey, everybody is probably so sick and tired, because I know I am. I have to be honest with you. I'm talking about COVID, COVID this, COVID that, COVID this, but it's such a serious thing, and I can't wait to dive into it from your perspective. But before I do that, I have a question for you, Harvey. What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about helping people to be themselves.
Helping.
That's the most important thing to me. Is that's what allows me to get up in the morning to do things. When you can go out and help someone else to feel good about themselves. And that's why I always believe that the greatest success in the world is being in the position to help others to achieve their goal. It's not unnecessarily about your goal. As you talked about with my mother taught me at an early age, we was poor. And you know, I would always wonder why we doing things, but she always says it's not about you. It's about helping others. And when you help others, then that makes you feel better about who you are. And when you can feel better about who you are, then to me, that's the greatest success in the world. When you can have someone to say, thank you, Harvey, for helping me. That's endless for me.
You know, you're speaking just music to my ears, because this whole COVID, immunize, get a vaccination, don't get a vaccination, has become so politicized. And all I can think about, Harvey, I shared with you earlier that, and I'm going to leave his name out because I don't think it's important, but I think that's his personal business, not for me to share, but I'm going to share the story of a dear friend whom I love and adore called me today and told me that they contracted COVID and they had not been vaccinated. And for me, my heart just literally fell out my chest, not only because I love and adore this person and they're amazing, but they weren't really around anybody in particular, and they were about to take a flight to go somewhere and just started feeling chills. And because of it, decided to go get tested. And lo and behold, they did find out that they had COVID. I'd like to talk to you about health. Harvey, your list, your accomplishments, sir, your accomplishments, it goes beyond measure. Just that audience for a minute. He's a certified corrective exercise specialist with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. He's a certified ergonomics assessment specialist, Back School of Atlanta certified herbalist, Heart of Herbs School, Herbal School, certified electro acuscope, and some of these words. Milepost technician, certified actuary. Okay, so this list can go on, and you guys can see that I'm working and struggling through some of the pronunciations of these words. But we have an expert here. We have somebody who has history that can share with us. And Harvey, my platform is all about being fit. But what would you tell people about COVID? What would you like to share with them about what you do to help them?
First of all, as we was talking earlier, there's three elements that I feel that is important that people need to focus on. They need to focus on balance. They also need to focus on their posture, making sure they have the right posture, and dehydration. I feel one of the dehydration is one of the things that I feel that when people have COVID, they're dehydrated. And when they're dehydrated, that allows the virus to be more, to take more control, is my opinion. It is that we need to focus on they talk about the thymus. The thymus is something that what happens is when we're young, before we turn 17 years old, the thymus is where a lot of your energy come in. And what happens as you get older and you start going into puberty, it goes into reproduction, even though you might never think about going to reproduction. And that you got to improve your immune system. And that's what it is, because in the thymus, that's where your T cells, when they talk about the T cells and the white cell, that's where it's at. And the white cells is what help us to be able to fight. Those are the fighters. And what we have to do is learn how to deep breathe. So I've dealt with a lot of the patients that, like you said, they get a short of breath, they can't breathe. You have to learn how to deep breathe more and staying hydrated and keeping your posture. Because if you tilt it over and everything, that's shortening your lung capacity. You're not able to breathe properly.
Well, let me tell you something about Mr. Harvey Shields, you guys. If I haven't told you enough already, this gentleman, his age is his business, but this this gentleman runs 4 to 5 miles a day. And wait a minute, he just runs, but he also runs uphill. I called him and he was running uphill. That was aside from his getting up at 4:30 in the morning to go run. And he is very serious about his health. And I really want us, especially my Black brothers and sisters and people of color, I want all people. Let me first state that. But in particularly, we know that this particular strand has impacted us more than anybody else because we aren't taking care of ourselves. And it's okay to look good, but if you are not good on the inside, you guys, I want you to live for a long time. And the things that he's talking about, the 3 elements about balance, posture, and dehydration, one of his recommendations to me, because I was having stomach issues, was for me to take a powder substance. I can't remember what you told me what it was. I have it in there, Harvey. But drink it every morning to help me with dehydration. Can I tell you, the first cup I took, few seconds later, I was feeling great. So it works. And I want it to work for you. Don't just take this as another notation, Sheryl Grant here. Take notes. This stuff can change your life. Harvey, you are into helping people. Tell people what you do today.
I'm sorry?
Tell people what you do today. What do you do?
What did I do?
What do you do? Yeah, what do you do? You help
Well,
people. How do you help them, Harvey? You work with clients right now. We had to position this at 3 o'clock because you have clients and you're helping them do what?
I happen there's different elements of it. Have individuals that are not able to breathe. There is, there are a lot of people that might know that they call sarcoidosis. That means sarcoidosis is where you're not the people that understand it. What it is, it's like you think about a honeycomb. Like the honeycomb, which is real thick. Is real. When you pull out the honeycomb, it is real thick and everything. So that happen, your lung capacity, you're not able to breathe. So I've been helping with people with lung capacity, with sarcoidosis, liver problem, kidney problem, heart problem, rehabilitation on all aspect of it. And all it is that by giving the key element to all of this, it's giving people hope. I think that's the key thing that I should talk about with this COVID. You're giving people hope. You're going to that, vagus nerve where you're going to the flight or fight mode. You have to help them to be able to fight, not to go into the flight mode. And what you have to do is once you're able to help them to be able to give them hope, that's the key elements there. As I said, when I started out this last year, I did it to help some friends. And then I realized, this really works. Then I started doing this all over the world, helping people to be able to understand that they have hope. As long as you have hope within yourself, and as you said, Sheryl, everyone wants to look good on the outside, but it doesn't really mean a thing. It's about internal. It's internal to external, not external to internal. If you just focus on the external part of it, it's not going to work. You take athletes, you look at these guys that on linemen's, you see these guys 300 pounds. It's this guy, he can't move, whatever. But these guys are running 4.5, 4.6, 40. I mean, and they can move because you can't just look at the external part of a person. You got to focus on the internal, and that's what would be done wrong. And as you was talking about that, the key element that I feel that what we need to learn, and it's not religion, but we need to learn how to learn the development and the journey of our spirit, I mean within us. We got to understand that. We got to understand that within ourselves. And the reason why when you don't understand that, and when you have these problems and trauma in your life, it manifests. And when it manifests in part of your life, it becomes you. And when you don't understand how to do those things, then you're that's what the imbalance is. Imbalance of energy. As you say, the physical energy is a small percentage of who we are. We got to get in touch with inside of us, and we're liking that. And the reason why I know that a lot of the blacks out there are so afraid to get the vaccine is because one of the things, if you look at the movie Miss Evans' Boys, that was done in Tuskegee, in Tuskegee, Alabama, where they have these airmen, and they were putting syphilis in them, and they was testing it on them, and that been a thing that we are still holding up today. We still holding on to that. You know, when you say someone is trying to keep track of you, you got a cell phone. What you talking about? They know every move you make on a cell phone. They don't need to try to put a chip inside of you. We need to be more aware, and we need to get the message out there. I'm looking at you. Please get vaccine. Please get vaccinated. Because once you get it, then, you know, like they're saying, the people saying, well, I should have, you know, my mother said shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's do it now. We need to focus on staying healthy. Healthy is the most important thing that we can do at this moment. You got to focus on internal to external. And I know that's what you believe in also, Cheryl.
Yes, and my platform is all about being fit, but fit is truly a play on word. It's about faith. You talked about the spirit. It's about intuition, learning to trust yourself. You talked about balance, and it's about tenacity. You got to get out there and do the work. And a lot of times we'd rather sit back and eat and drink and party and eat all the wrong foods versus understanding the long-term effect of any of those choices. And I'm not one to say, you know, sustainably that anybody can, you know, necessarily have a really high intense diet like some athletes have, but there are portion controls. There are things you can do to help yourself. And without that, your health is your wealth. Without your health, you can't do anything. And Harvey, I just love the language that you speak because you speak my language. And it's all about mentally taking care of yourself first, mentally, because if you're not okay here, and by the way, not that we're going to digress, because I really am here to talk about you, but it just came up, Harvey, and we're having dialogue.
Yes.
What do you think about this whole thing that just happened with Simone Biles? What do you think about all this pressure and opinions, and people are projecting because she chose to take care of herself? What are your thoughts about that?
Well,
You're an expert.
no, this is what the reason why I said is I deal with a lot of athletes, and a lot of athletes have the same thing that Simone Biles has. But what happens is that so I believe it's 70-30, and I know some people are not agree that I believe it's 70% mental and 30% physical. Because if you're not mentally prepared, you can't do the physical side of it. And what we need to do is stop trying to be like someone else. Be yourself. Don't try to do or be like this athlete or that athlete or this person, that person. Be you, because there's only one you. No one can be better than you. You got to be you. And when you be you, then that's going to allow you to be successful. Don't try to be like someone else. I never try to be like someone else. That's what it's about me. That I believe this is. You have to focus on you. The greatest success in the world is being your own self. And you never, another one, do not follow another path, but create your own trail. You got to.
Say that again. No, that's a good one.
I came up with that a long time ago. Do not follow another's path, but create your own trail. And that's what I've always liked to do. You create my own trail. When you create your own trail, then you're authentic. You're not being someone else. You're not trying to be like someone else. Be yourself. And when you be yourself, you know, a lot of people that might not like it. When people talk about functional movement 20 years ago, so functional movement is based upon what you want to do with yourself. You understand? It's functional. It's your function. What your function may be different from my function, but you have to do functional movement based upon your particular, what you're trying to accomplish. What you're trying to accomplish and what I'm trying to accomplish is two different things. You got individuals on the field, even on the football team, which I know you don't know that much about. But you
Girl, but it's all good.
yeah, but I'm saying that everyone on that team have different function. So
Yes.
you can't have a running back trying to do what a cornerback do.
Right.
You have to do what your particular function is. And so that leads to me to believe that every person should do what they feel right for them. You can't be try to do what someone else do. You see someone else out there and say, well, he did it, I can do it. That may not necessarily be. As you're talking about, I don't believe in diet. I believe that you should eat healthy.
Yes. And
I believe.
and I'm
Go
a
ahead.
believer in that too. No, continue on. This is
No, 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 I'm just saying that I don't believe in diet. I believe that you should eat healthy. Eat healthy.
it's
Healthy eating.
style, right? A
I'm
life.
just, it's a lifestyle thing. It's not about, because what happens, people get discouraged. They start on a particular female. Sorry, in the beginning of the year, they
Men
say
do it too.
that.
Harvey, men do it too. Men do
Well,
it too. Come
okay,
on.
okay, okay. Let's say humans, they start at the beginning of the year. They said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to lose this many pounds and I'm going to do that. By March, they're done because they didn't achieve what they're doing. Never try to achieve something that you don't feel you can achieve. You should take baby step. Do step by step by step by step. And when you do that, so you have to get this together first. And one of the things that I tell people all the time, you got to have your brain and your feet communicating with each other. When you're the reason why so many people fall over or whatever, they don't have the connection between the brain and the feet. They got to connect.
Right.
They have to connect.
Well, I love everything that you're saying. And Harvey, I'm right now doing these fit mini challenges where I add something every week. And I
Yes.
often say it in my communication, don't do, because sometimes it can seem overwhelming, like, sure, I can't do all that. Just start off doing something. And my biggest thing, Harvey, and my recommendation to them is at least drink water, at least
Yes.
a gallon of water a day, at least drink your water and eat healthy. If you
Yes.
at least do those two things, you're going to be 100 steps ahead.
Yes.
Those two. Would you agree
Yes.
with that?
Yes. So,
From the expert. You heard it from the expert.
so I always keep my water with me. So I just don't tell someone to do it. I do it myself. So I believe in leading by example. I believe that you have to lead by example. And the same as you, Cheryl. You have to do, you don't tell someone to do something that you can't do yourself. You always encourage people. I never expect for someone to do exactly what I able to do. You have to be allowed the person to do whatever they wants to do, not try to say, no, you got to do it in my way. No, it's not that way. And people get discouraged that way. You're always supposed to encourage people.
Exactly. So, Harvey, this is all great information, and it couldn't come for me at a better time because I am so committed to my platform and then being mentally fit. Because I know once you're mentally fit, then there's nothing that can stop us. I have something I call the C4 matrix that I developed when I was in grad school, and it's really simple. But like anything that's simple, it doesn't make it can be complex because you have to apply it, but it's simple. Communication, that's what we're doing right now, creates connection.
Mhm.
Connection creates collaboration, and collaboration creates community. You don't have to go this journey alone. You have to do the work, but you don't have to do it alone. There are people like Harvey. There are people like Sheryl. There's people like my coach D. There are people like Alondra Chapman. There are people like, I mean, I can name, the list can go on and on. If I did name your name, don't call me later and say, sure, you didn't mention my name. Just know that they are there and able to help you along your journey. Fitness is not optional. You're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. Everything we do has a consequence. And I just want to say to you, it's time for us to take ownership of our lives and stop holding other people accountable for what we want to do. One of the things you just said, Harvey, that I love is don't follow another's path. Create your own path. This is what this is about. This is what my platform is about. How do I uplift Black women and women of color? There wasn't one for us. I created it. And I'm so proud of it because there are so many amazing women out there that are doing so many great things. And I want to give them a platform to have a voice in a world that wouldn't, a world that refused to give them that voice. And even with you here, Harvey, and creating this community and creating this connection, you have done that repeatedly. You have done the very thing that I'm talking about and what I do on this platform. And you've done it with some of the most esteemed athletes in the country. So we talk a lot about faith. Tell me how you have applied your faith. How did you become this sports guru where you have people like the Jerry Rices of the world and, you know, the Barry Bonds of the world and all these athletes and corporate executives that call Harvey Shield to their rescue? I mean, you guys, I'll tell you later. We had a whole conversation about inviting some of his exclusive people, and we couldn't because they didn't want me to have their email addresses. But how did you get there, Harvey? How?
How did I get to where?
How did you? My platform is about faith, intuition, and tenacity.
Uh-huh.
Harvey, how did you get to where you are? How did you get in the lane of being able to support these esteemed people in your life? How did that happen?
Well, you know, I was very fortunate that they actually, I don't know, must have been in my energy. We was able to, they gravitated towards me because it must have been because of who I am. I didn't even wear. They actually, some of them came to me. I was out, and I was used to years ago. I was didn't finish it. I was in grad school, and I was working at a nightclub in Burlingame, and a couple of the athletes would come in there, and they gravitated to me, and we start talking, and they talking about their problem. And I said, "Oh, I can help you," and that's how it got started. And so it's, uh, I think when you're being authentic and being yourself, people can feel the energy. And I just want to say, I think majority of the stuff I went to school for it, but I just feel that I've been blessed. I didn't talk about it that much, but my grandmother was the one when I was young. I had a lot of injuries, and I when I went to, she would started, young, you don't pay attention. She started doing all this talking and stuff, and then the next thing you know, I had no injuries. It's gone, and I'm thinking, what happened here? So it was a gift from God that I have, and I call it is I'll share this with you. I call it the GCD, God Certified Degree.
GCD. Did y'all hear that? God certified degree.
And so that's what I think that's just a blessing, is a gift that I have. I went to school, but it's something that I was never, it's something I can't explain it. It just um it's a blessing that I have, and I give thanks back to it for that each and every day of my life, the gift that I have. And I think that it's not always about taking, it's also about giving. And that's also what my mother said. When you do things to help others sometime, God will take care of you. But you got to do it from here. You got to do it from the heart. You got to do it from your heart. You got to be authentic. And people want to have people to work with them that's authentic. And I think all the athletes that I have the opportunity to work with felt it. They felt my true dedication into what I did, that I do. And when you do that authentically, I think particularly a lot of these athletes are very skeptical of people because they always think that people just want them for money or whatever else may be. When they can feel that you're authentic, just like with you, anyone, you want to feel that the person is authentic and helping people to grow. If you can't do that with the people you're working with, then there's no sense of doing it. That's what I feel. You got to help people to grow. You help people to grow in what they want to do. Because everything I do is not about me. It's never about me. It's about the person I'm working with. And as I stated that, this is my passion, just not just a job. And one shoe don't fit all. You can't put everyone in the same situation. When I go into a situation, I have no idea what I'm gonna do when I first meet them. I feel them. I do listen, observation, and learn. I do that. Listen, observation, and learn. I learn from them. And when you learn from the person and they feel that you caring about what their needs are, then they want to learn more. Then they want to work with you more because they show that you care about them. When I walk into them, every person I work with is a superstar. Every person I work with is a superstar. Not just, I don't look at people just by what they've done in there. Every person I work with, every person I talk to is a superstar. And when you do that, then that makes every person, because everybody's important to me, not just one person. I give them the same treatment that I would give anyone else.
I like that approach, Harvey. I like that approach. And I also like the fact that you stated that it's not about you, it's about them. And my platform is about uplifting others.
Yes.
I love that because I align with that and truly being authentic and allowing them to have a voice to help them to grow and be their most audacious self. And I love everything. Listen, observe, and learn. I'm learning a lot from you today. One of the things we also talked about, Harvey, you made it really clear to me that you said, Cheryl, I'm not a personal trainer. Not what I do. You said you did corrective.
Corrective exercise. So meaning that what I do a lot of time, I correct things that other people have created for other people. I correct it, and that's what I do. I correct. I watch observation and I listen and learn. And I'm very technical. I watch it. People that work with me know who I am. I'm very technical. It's not about just doing it, but you got to do it right. But you do it at your time and you're at your level, not trying to do it at someone else's level. I don't expect that, but you just have to be about them. It's about them. And so by corrective, no, I'm not a personal trainer. My thing is movement, and when the movement is that so three things that we do each and every day. We're not even aware that we do it. Even while we're doing here, you breathe, right?
Yes.
You relax, and you do execution, right? Think about it. Everything you do, you got to breathe. You breathe, you relax, then you do it. You can't do it without breathing. Am I right?
You're right about that.
Right? You breathe, then you got to relax, then you do it. You can't do it without breathing first. You have to see it before you do it. It's nothing you do that you can't do, that you have to see it before you do it. When we're driving or when we get up in the morning, yeah, we set alarm. But if you think about saying, I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? That's to me that you have to set that internal alarm. When you set that internal alarm, you setting forth what you're doing, right? So when you set that internal alarm, then now you know that you got to get up at 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the morning. And I believe that if you start off doing something, exercising, what you said, what you stated earlier, don't go slow. You don't need to try to get up to 4 miles. You got to start off slow. Do it at your pace. But it goes back to that mental side. That's why I believe it's 70-30. You got to be mentally prepared to do it. Even the way you were talking about, wow, I applaud her for what she did. And it's so everyone else was thinking about them. It was about them. They wanted her to do that. It wasn't about her. That was about them. This was about her. And I applaud her. She's 24 years old. And now, I applaud her for what she did. And that you have to take that responsibility I'm happy that she did it that way instead of going out there uh, uh, doing something wrong. Would you want a surgeon that's not he's not feeling good to do surgery on you?
Absolutely not. That would be an instant no.
Exactly. But I'm just saying you got to be mentally prepared to do it.
Absolutely.
You have to be prepared to do this. And it's easy that we have to, every person out there have the capacity to be in their best because no one else is better than them. And that's what we got to start feeling about. Each person in this universe need to feel good about themselves. And what I feel, you heard it from me. This is I've said it before. Then I feel that this pandemic is not going away until we humble ourselves.
Right.
And when we humble ourselves and treat each other with respect, then I feel that's when it's going to go away. You got to treat everybody with respect. That's just my opinion about it.
Harvey, you just said everything. So my platform is about being fit. And I think basically we're speaking the same language. You and I are
Yes.
speaking the same language. You say breathe, relax, and execute. I also talk about the mind's eye, being able to see it. That's what faith is all about. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. If you can't see it here first and you don't believe it here first, like you said, getting up at 4:30 in the morning, most people, when I talk to people about fitness, I always get what they're not going to do. I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to eat that, and I'm going to have my drink. And I'm like, here, I'm not here to help you fight for your limitations. My mentor was Les Brown. He said, I'm here to help you grow. And
Yes.
so we want to be at the next level. The Bible speaks of when you're a child, you do childish things. And when you become an adult, you put those childish things away. I'm trying to say to us as a people, it's time to elevate. This is
Yeah.
not a game. We
No.
get, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know, Harvey, nobody came back to tell me who's ever lived, but we only get one life to live. And I want to make sure that I empower everybody I know to live their best life now. And what do you want? Faith, being able to walk out. You say breathe. Faith also, your mental capacity to think and to be and to do. You got to be able to breathe. And breathing, believe it or not, Harvey, that sounds so simple, but do you know 95, you probably already know this, 95% of us don't.
Yes, you're right.
We
They
take
don't.
95% of us do not know how to breathe. We don't know how to fill our lungs up to capacity. I meant daily, like even in this conversation with you, like, am I breathing? Am I breathing in the process? And then, like you said, once you're able to breathe, that's why whenever you get angry, the best thing you could ever do is breathe. Take a moment to step away and take 10 deep breaths and come back to it. Don't allow your emotions to drive you. And that's a simple thing, but it's such a true fact. And then relax. Let your mind guide you and then execute accordingly. I think if we all did these things, although they're so simple, we would have a better life. And that makes sense. Well, Sheryl, how do you do that? I really believe that. Harvey's here telling you it. He works with some of the most esteemed athletes in the world. And this is the advice he's giving them when they're out on the field performing so that they can be their best self and helping them to correct the stuff, whatever it is, the other stuff you do to help them correct that part too. But this is just powerful information. And Harvey, it's so great to get it from a different lens and a different perspective.
Yeah. So the thing, what we are so confused at. So when I call a balance, imbalance of energy, so that when there's an imbalance of energy, so what happens is that we all know we go to the external part of us. So this is my opinion. This is what we always say. We used to always say the mind, body, and spirit. But how is it that possible that how is it that the mind control the other part of the internal part of you? So what happens is that we need to learn how to put it in order. The order is that you need to go spirit, mind, and body, because what happens is the internal part of you controls the mind. If you don't think about it, then the body follows. But you got to have the in you. To me, the inner inside of you has to be corrected first, and then you can do the mind. but the mind can't control the inner you. It does. It's impossible. You can't control the spirit part of you. That's what it is. You got to go spirit, mind, and body, not mind, body, and spirit. You got to have that first, because you got to go internal to external, not external to internal.
Well, and I think a lot of us, when we think about Simone Biles and just others, just even in our daily lives, everybody that's listening to this right now, we're all going through something and we're
Yes.
all on our way somewhere. But if we're not stopping to take care of ourselves first, then there's no way we're going to ever be able to take care of others. And there's been so much programming that we have to unprogram that stuff. And the only way you can do that is to get silent. The only way you could do that is to pause. And it's very interesting to me how, as human beings, Harvey, we're so quick to forget. We're so quick to forget. We just left a pandemic and we're already ready to get back to the races and get out to the public and be out with people and drinking. And I'm not opposed to none of that, Harvey. I'm not opposed, but we got to do it in moderation, and we got to be in the right spirit and know that
That's exactly what I was just talking about. Yes.
is this good for me? Is this good for me? I often hear, and not to digress, but this thought came in my mind. I hear a lot of news where they're talking about, a lot of people are having issues, going back to work. They don't want to go back to jobs. Well, I appreciate people not taking jobs that are not feeding their spirit. I know you got to eat. I know I got to eat. You got to take care of yourselves. But if somebody's treating you like dirt, why would you want to go back to that? That's killing your spirit. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that, Harvey?
No, no, I think that's great. Oh, she said, "Oh, help my." Okay, yes,
Joni,
yes, that's my girl. Yes, that's family. Yes,
I immensely.
yes.
All of what he is saying right now today works. His support and inner guidance has changed our life. Joni, thank you so much for sharing that, because it's so simple, but people really need to hear it. And wherever you are listening, whether you're listening to this now or later, first of all, take notes. I'm a note taker, Harvey, because I go back and really truly apply. And while I have my own words that I use, I'm going to be applying yours. A
Okay.
spirit, mind, and body instead of body, mind, and spirit. Talking to you about breathe, relax, and execute. Because these are the tools that you need to live your best life. If you don't, I on the 7-day challenge I was telling you about, Harvey, that I'm sending people on, I first start off with an intention for the day. Then I start off with an affirmation. That's going back to what Harvey's talking about. You got to start with your spirit first. I set the intention because I'm speaking it into existence, Harvey. I am great. All things are working together for my good. And then I go into working out, Harvey. I go into making sure I'm eating right. And I can tell you, I just told you a stressful situation. I'm not going to share with the audience that I was going through. But I'm easier to let it go and not let it eat at me versus me being reactive and it messing up my whole day. And all of those things apply.
Yeah, because what's happened when you allow that particular situation take control over you, now you're not able to function. That the knowledge just totally destroys the rest of your being. And then you take it the rest of the day, you go to sleep with it. The next day that's when I told you, remember I tell you about you having these traumas and everything in your life, then it manifests, then it become part of you. Then when it become part of you, you have an imbalance. You have an imbalance there. You're right. You have an imbalance in your life. And when you have that blood, then the cycle continue to go over and over and over. And we have to break that cycle. We have to learn how to break that cycle, because the cycle will continue on until we break that cycle within us. There's amazing people that I've helped over the time. One young lady that I've known her since she was very young, and I really admire her for what she's accomplished and everything. And I just it's just amazing to be there, to know people that you've helped. That, because to me that's the greatest success in the world, when you can be able to see the results of people you have helped, and then being able to her, like Jonah's daughter. I'm so proud of Hannah. She's improved her. She improved her ability in track this year because I told her she had hope that was there to help her support her with it, and it made a difference when you can have hope and have someone there to help you. You know, I have a lot of people that I work with right here in the area that have had problems and things, and I'm there for them. And so
Right.
when I work with people, it's not just when I work with them for whatever the time, the hour, or whatever I work with them. They can be able to call me not just because I'm working with them. They can call me whenever they need help because it's not just about that hour. You do that. It's before and after. And I know that you believe in that too, Cheryl. It's before and after. You just don't work with someone and say, "Oh, no, I can't talk to you until then." It's about making that person's life better. And when you can help someone's life to be better, uh, that's Judy.
Hi,
That's
Judy. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for this amazing introduction to
yes, Judy. That yes, you know that's it's you know it's it's this is what it's all about. This is about inspiring people to do what they do, inspiring people to accomplish whatever they want. Everyone wants to do something, they can do it. And that's what we both are about, Cheryl. It was about inspiring people and helping them to be able to do whatever they want to do in this world. And when you're able to do that, that allows people to go forward in life. And that's what we just had to continue to do to help people inspire them. And I really hope and pray that my brothers and sisters out there to be able to get this vaccine, take it. I mean, take it. I mean, it's you know, I mean, it's just not going to do what people think it is. I'm going to continue to try to get the message out that we got to be able to work to help people to feel and get them better. And to, if there's nothing else you learned from this today, they need to learn those three things: dehydration, breathing, and posture. They need to make sure they do those three things.
absolutely. Well, Harvey, one of the things you've been so informative today, and I knew you would be from the first time we talked, and I can't thank Judy enough for the introduction. But first of all, I want to say for those of you who are listening, ask questions. This is not meant to be a monologue. It truly is meant to be a dialogue. And the only way that it can do that is if you ask questions. I think having the ability to have these amazing people that I have on this platform is one thing. For you to get something out of it so that you can be better is the result. I couldn't have said it better. Harvey said it for me. I am here to give people hope too, Harvey. I am here
I
to
know that, yes.
inspiration. I am here to inspire you and uplift you and to encourage you. I am here to bring people that you can relate to, that can tell your story because they lived your journey. They're not telling you something just because they're telling you. These are people who have lived your journey and can help you aspire to where you're trying to go quickly, very quickly. Um,
That's it. That's it. Yes.
Jacqueline, hi, Jacqueline.
That's
Inspired
yes.
and inspire me. Inspire. Harvey,
Yes.
thank you for the continued support. Oh my God, you have a fan club, Harvey Shields
Yes.
with an
That's
X.
my girl. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Harvey
And
Shields.
she's I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of her, what she has accomplished. A very successful young lady. I really am proud of the things that she has accomplished with her and her family. I really am. Um, and that's what it's all about, inspiring people to do that, to be successful at whatever you're doing. And that's what we should do, is continue to help people to be successful at whatever they're doing and be there to support them.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, there's nothing else. And for here at this platform, Harvey, there's no hidden agendas. I'm not looking for anything from anybody. Um, I am looking to create a pathway. I'm creating my own pathway, but I want to help them create theirs
Yes.
and help them to live their best lives. And my goal this year, Harvey, is to reach 50 million women, 50 million Black women and women of color. And I created the tools and the experiences that can give them the tools that they need in order to do that. You have this list of fans that have just came on here, and this isn't even the beginning. This isn't even touch. This doesn't even touch. That's a whole nother conversation. But you obviously, because of your authenticity and obviously because of the work and the results that you deliver. And I know, Harvey, I entered fitness at the age of 55. I never had entered any kind of fitness competition ever in my life. And I did it because of my frustration within corporate America. And I felt that there was nowhere to go. So the only that place that I could go was inward. And so I started to work on me. And in
Yes.
that moment, Harvey, it brings tears to my eyes because it transformed my life. And that's how I came up with faith, intuition, and tenacity. It was a journey that transformed everything about me, the way I think, the way I walk, the way I talk, the people I associate with, who I allow in my circle. Toxicity and drama, we don't do that here at Fit. We don't do that, Harvey. It's about giving love, inspiration, and hope. Love, inspiration, and hope. And to tell people, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. This isn't hocus pocus. This isn't a pipe dream. These are people who are truly living their life passion. I jumped off the cliff, Harvey, to do this work. I jumped off. I was in corporate America for 30 years. My mentor told me I should do it in 2006 when I started my company. I took the first step, but Harvey, in my heart, I couldn't see. I couldn't see the vision.
Yeah.
And until I hit the wall. And when I hit the wall, I know now I can't turn back. The only thing I can do is inspire and continue to inspire. So if you're listening to this now or later, this is for you. This is for you. And I want to say to you, Harvey, you are amazing. And I want to know right now, Harvey, I want to know, what can we do to support you?
Well, to be able to get the information out so we can help others. That's the greatest thing you can do for me, is that they make sure other people are improving their life, because that's what makes me happy every day, when I'm able to help someone else to fulfill their dreams and to be able to help them to feel good about them. So when you do that, to me, as I said, that's the greatest success in the world. And don't get me wrong, I got plenty of my friends got all these rings on the fingers, but that's an individual thing. You know, the world championships and everything. Those are real nice things to have. But it's still being able to help someone else. To me, that's greater than any ring or any championship you can have. When you can help someone else achieve their goal, that's where that can be done. Is being able to get out. And I appreciate you for giving me this format, so I can be able to try to help other people to improve their life. That's the greatest thing for me.
Well, I want to thank my dear friend, Trey Major, who just posted that this is a dope interview. And Trey is another rock star who he has styled for, he's makeup, hair, all the above for Natalie Cole. Mary J. Blige, I can't even, Aaliyah, I can't even name his reach and his touch because his list is too long. He did Cicely Tyson. He's been out there, but another person that believes in the platform, the work that I'm doing. And I appreciate you, Trey. So thank you for reaching out. I want to say, if you want to get a hold of Harvey Shields, you can contact him on LinkedIn. You can also Google him. Google Harvey Shields. You'll be surprised with the articles that you come up with. There's some amazing work that he's done, and it'll tell you without me giving you his list.
It's S by the Talk. It's sbodytalk.com.
Yes, and his company is sbodytalk.com. And if you are a person who has experienced COVID, you want to talk to Harvey Shields. If you are a person who has experienced COVID on any level, you want to talk to Harvey Shields. He can help you. And with this new variant, it's really causing havoc, you guys. This is not a joke. It's not for pretend. It's causing havoc. I said earlier in the show, if you didn't hear me, I have a dear friend who wasn't vaccinated, but got COVID and became really sick, was sleeping 14, 16 hours a day. Don't put yourself in that position where you might be one of those people who don't survive it. Why even risk that? Your life is important. And more importantly, it's the lives of others. We have to stop being selfish with this one. This is not really about, this is about us getting to a place where this thing doesn't mutate itself and become something else where the vaccine doesn't even work. And then that'll be a whole nother issue that we're going to have to deal with as a society. But I want to encourage you to definitely reach out to Harvey. Harvey, I got one more question for you. Are you
Yes.
still there? You still there? Yeah. Okay. So I got one more question for you, and I'm gonna be making some announcements. So I want you to think about it. And this is, if you had one piece of advice you wanted the audience or my platform to hear, what would that be? So hold that thought. Think about it. I know you already got it, but just think about it for a minute. And then what I'm gonna do is say, first of all, my platform is an amazing tool that I've been blessed to use. And I want to just say to everyone who supports me, thank you. We are doing these fit challenges. There are many challenges. We're going to be progressing. And the content that we're going to be bringing to you is just second to none. But the way that I do it best, for whatever the reason, I've been having major trouble uploading my videos. But if you go to www.Sheryl Grant, Sheryl spelled with an S, SHERYL, GRANT.com/challenges and sign up, you'll start to get more informative information to help you engage in the work that I'm doing, because eventually I'm going to move off of Facebook and doing it and truly provide it to those who are connected with me. And I want to say to you, we have some major announcements coming soon about some events we're going to be holding and places. We have some giveaways. You can always support me. I have been doing this work, but I could always use donations, and no donation is too small. And you can go to my website, SherylGrant.com, to do that. I want to thank Harvey for this amazing opportunity. I want to thank my team. I can't do this work by myself. There's no I in team. It takes a team. And when I tell you I have one, I thank God for them showing up in my life. Sometimes, Harvey, you get help from those you least expect it, and those you expect to help you are the very ones who don't. But that's
Right.
okay, because everything is relative to where it is. But those who do show up for me, I want to thank them. And they're literally all over the country. They're in Austin, Texas. I work with a lot of Dell employees. I work with individuals that one of the girls that I'm working with, I don't know if she wants me to announce it. She just got this huge offer, but I can't announce it because I don't want to steal her thunder. But she's coming to me for mentorship. I work with some of the most amazing young women and girls that really do help support me. I can't do it alone. So I want to thank my entire team. I want to thank Joelle. I want to thank Azai. I want to thank Jasmine. I want to thank Ebony. I want to thank Andres. I want to thank Jonte. I want to thank Dejan. I want to thank my daughter, who's my makeup artist, who does my hair and makeup. I want to thank Trey Major, who's also, I want to thank my photographer. I mean, I got a whole team that's behind me, that stands behind me to do the work that I'm doing. And it does take a team. So I'm so thankful for you. And so with that said, okay, Harvey, we're back to you. What is that piece of advice that you'd share?
In reference to,
I said, if you had one piece of advice that you would give my audience, what would that be? Because we're closing. We're now at the end.
it's hope.
4 minutes. Yeah.
Hope.
Hope.
And just remember this. Your body's talking to you. Listen to it.
Oh my God. Did y'all hear that? That was so powerful. It's so simple. Your body's talking to you. Listen to it.
We don't listen.
Yes.
That's what I would want them to do. Hope, and they do that. Listen to their body's talking to you. Your body's talking to you. Listen to it. And that's what I would leave. I would want them to leave them with.
Okay, I got to put that up. Your body is talking to you.
Listen to it.
Listen to it. Ooh, that is so simple, but it's so powerful. And I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope that you apply what's been said so that you can live and have the most amazing life starting now. And Harvey, again, the one thing I love about what I do is because we get to share and uplift and give people hope and inspiration. What I don't like is the time just flies by like that. But without any further ado, sir, thank you. I can't wait to work with
You
you.
are.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be calling on you, Harvey. I need some help. I need all the I'm gonna need all the help I can get. And I'll
Okay.
need it. So thank you, sir. And
You're
thank you
welcome.
for the amazing opportunity to interview you. We appreciate you. God bless everybody. Have a fabulous week. And by the way, we will not be having Fit Live next week, but we will resume the week after. And oh my God, I have an amazing guest that we're going to be bringing to you. I have the lineup between now and the end of the year is going to be absolutely amazing. And Joni, thank you. She says, thanks, Harvey. Do not hesitate to call Harvey. He is as authentic as they come. Thank you, Joni. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice one.
Okay,
Bye.
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.